Hi everybody, it's Doreen, Do 4x4, and I'm back today with a birthday card for my sister-in-law. And this birthday card is going to go along with the note card holder that I made her as a gift for her birthday. So this is my card. So let's get started so I can show you how I made it. Okay everybody, so let's get started with my supplies. Okay, so my card measures 5.5 by 8.5, and I've scored it using my Score Buddy to 4.25. And then my bottom layer measures 5.25 by 4. And this is some cardstock this cardstock here was the cardstock that was given to me by one of my co-workers. I think I mentioned it before, they were throwing a bunch of cardstock out and they asked me did I want it. And this piece I purchased several years ago at a rubber stamp show. Don't remember the name of it or where I got the company I got it from. It's just that it was there in my stash of paper, so I decided to use it. So as I said before, this measures 5.25 by 4. So I'm going to go ahead and use my ATG gun and adhere that to the card, or the base of my card. And this paper, it feels, it's real soft. I don't know, it's not like a cardstock. So let me open up my card and I'm going to go ahead and lay that down like so. And then as I said in previous videos, I always go around my edges to make sure, and just run my finger along there to make sure it's adhered properly. Okay, now my next layer, my top layer measures 5 by 3.75. And what I'm going to do is I've cut a piece of ribbon that measures 6 inches, and I'm going to use my cheater method again and make sure I put that across like so. So let me go ahead, and I wrote the measurements on the back because I always forget what I cut it, and I don't know why I forget what I cut it, because I cut it pretty much the same every time, but I guess sometimes I forget. It's probably because I'm getting up there in age and I can't remember as well as I used to. I don't know. Some of you probably have the same problem and you're not getting up there in age. So I'm going to go ahead and tape the one side down. And then what I do is I measure along there to make sure I get it even. And that looks about right. So I'm going to go ahead, get a piece of tape, and I got to measure again. Probably should have got my piece of tape before I set it down. And just tape that across. And sometimes I tape it the long way, and sometimes I tape it, and then sometimes I tape it the short way, and then other times I do both. Okay. So, I guess that's about even. So now I'm going to go ahead and take my ATG gun again and go ahead and tape this down. Get all of my edges, and then go ahead and put some tape in the middle. Move that out the way. And then go ahead and lay that layer down. And I have inked the edges of all of my layers as well as the cardstock. And I used my Tim Holtz vintage photo to do that. Okay, so I need to move this up just a little bit. There. So now, the other thing I did was I cut a layer using my Martha Stewart punch. And this is the swirling lace. I know with this design you probably can hardly see it, but I'll let you see from the back. And I haven't decided if I'm going to put this on here or not. I kind of like it, but then I don't want it to be too much. So I think I'm going to leave it off for right now, and then I'll decide after I get all of my other embellishments on if I'm going to go ahead and use that. So the next thing I want to do is get the happy birthday on. Now, this happy birthday was cut at 1 3/4 inches, and I actually used the gypsy when I did this because I always design my cards on the gypsy first and just go ahead and cut them out. Unless I know I'm just going to be using one image, then I just go ahead and use the cartridge. So, as I said before, this is cut at 1 3/4 inches, and this is from the calligraphy collection. And I used some of the metallic cardstock that I had from a previous haul from years ago. And then I took some of the goldenrod stickles, and I went ahead and put some of the stickles on the H and along the Y, and then on parts of the birthday. So I'm going to go ahead and use my two-way zig pen and ink this up, or rather put some of that on here, not ink. And get that on there. And then I'm going to take my tweezers so I can lay it down and put it exactly where I want it. And I'm going to put it about right there. And then I just press down. Okay, so now for my birthday, I'm going to probably put it about right there. So I'm going to go ahead once again and ink up. I keep saying ink up. I meant put some glue using my two-way zig pen again on the back. Of there. And then once again I'm going to take my tweezers and bring my card forward, and I'm going to put the birthday about right there, and then I'm going to press down. Okay, looks like I didn't get all of the letter out of there. Let me pull this up, see if I can get it up. Once I've gotten it down there, I don't think, well, it looks like it's going to come up. Because what I want to do is take my pokey tool and see if I can get that one letter that didn't come out all the way when I pulled it up from the gypsy, or from my mat rather. It's just one piece that's still not showing through. Let's see if I can get that off of there. There we go. There. Much better. Okay. So now, let's go ahead and add the star, which also, that actually cuts out with the happy birthday. And I probably should have come down a little further with that. But that's okay. I think I'm going to, let's see if I fold it. I'm going to put it about right there. So I'm going to leave my card folded so I can see exactly where that's going to come on the card. And I'll use, so it's going to come up about right there. I think it'll be okay in the envelope. I didn't actually have to put the glue on all of the edges of the star since we got it going up there. Okay, so now it did also come, when it cut out, it had a star in the middle here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to put that right there above the I, and between the I and the R. Okay, like that. So go ahead and get some glue on here. Whoops. It's so tiny it's getting away from me. And I'm going to go ahead and use my tweezers again and put that down. Okay, so there we are. Now to add the cake and the martini glass. For my martini glass, well actually I'm going to add the cake first. For the cake, this is cut at 2 inches, and this is from the Smiley cartridge. And the Smiley cartridge was a download that came, if you did the last download, they gave you some free cartridges, and the Smiley cards was one of those cartridges. So now what I need to do is add some foam tape to this. So let me get my foam tape. Okay, I'm using some new foam dots that I got off of a website, and they're similar to the Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. So I'm going to go ahead and put these on the back of the cake. And I kind of like these. And they were a lot cheaper than the Stampin' Up! Ones. So let's add these. And I got the variety pack, so there were several different sizes in there. I did notice that one thing, the paper is a little bit harder to peel off, or it could be. Oh, sorry about that. That was my timer going off. The paper on these are a little bit harder to pull off, as I said, but I think it might be too because of the fact that my nails are kind of low, or small, short. So the thing that I did with the cake is I also took some of the goldenrod stickles and went ahead and I ran the cake through my Cutterbug using the swirls folder, and then I took the goldenrod and put it on each one of the swirls. And then I took some more of that paper, this paper here, and put that on top for the candles. So I'm going to go ahead and lay that about right there. And because I'm doing that, I don't think I'm going to put this down here on the bottom. Change my mind on that one. Okay, so the other embellishment or thing that I cut out with my Cricut was the martini glass. And this was cut at 2 inches. And this is also from the Smiley cartridge. And And I also ran it through my Cuttlebug folder, the Swiss Dots one, and then I put some gold stickles down at the bottom along here. And I think what I'm going to do too is I'm going to add, well, I was going to add some stickles along the rim of the glass, but I don't think I will. I think I changed my mind on that too. So I'm going to go ahead and add some dimensionals to this one as well, because I want this to pop up like the cake. And get those on there. Let's see here. Yeah, these are a little bit harder to get off the tape, and then it sticks to you. So I may just stick to my foam tape. And I kind of want to tilt this maybe. Yeah, like so. And then I cut out some little circles that went along with the martini glass to make it look like bubbles. So I'm going to take my two-way glue pen and adhere those and drop those right there. And then I have a really teeny tiny one. So I'll get some glue on that one. And it is really tiny. So, and put that one down. About right there. And then I'm going to add... It actually cuts out when you use it with your Dipsy, and this is part of the Smiley cartridge as well. It cuts out 2 of them, so I kind of cut them out twice. And then we have one more little tiny one. That I'm going to put sort of like right down in there. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bow right there. And I cut this out using my Bow Easy. And I did have a request from one of my subscribers to actually do a video on the Bow Easy. And I haven't forgotten your request. I will be doing that soon, probably within the next couple of weeks. I've just been really busy because I've gone back to work, so I don't get to work on things or do videos every day like I was when I was doing the Christmas cards with the Cricut series because I was on vacation. So I will get to your video as soon as I can. Now, the last thing I want to do is I want to add, of course, I have to add the bling. So I'm going to put, I think I'm going to put a gold one there. So let me get that. So I've got my gold bling, and I've used put some glue, using my glue gun on the back. Oops, and I bought some different glue sticks to go in my glue gun, and I don't think I like them because they seem to give you more of the strings pieces when it starts to dry, whereas the other ones, and these were an off-brand, they weren't the Aleen's, so I'm not quite sure if I'm going to continue using them because I don't like the additional strings. The Aleen's glue gun, you didn't get as many of the strings. But I did read somewhere, for those of you who have a glue gun and you find that you get a lot of strings as the glue is drying, someone recommended on a website that I was on that if you put the glue sticks in the freezer before you put them in the glue gun, you don't get as many of the strings. So I think that's what I'm going to do. to try to alleviate the strings or webs or whatever you call them, because I like the glue sticks because they're a lot longer. For the inside of my card, what I did was I took my Stamp-A-Majig and I stamped out, I have a set that is something I picked up in the dollar bin at Michael's, and it says, "You're only a kid once, but you can be young for a lifetime." And then it says "Happy Birthday," and it has a woman standing next to a surfboard. And let me zoom in so you can see it. And so what I did was I stamped that out using a Stamp-A-Majig, and I used some of the Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and I then took my H2O twinklers, these, sorry about the glare, and I'll zoom back out, and I painted or colored in the lady. And it's kind of hard to see with the camera, but it is shimmering. It looks really nice. So that's it. That's the birthday card that I made for my sister-in-law Julie to go with the note card holder set. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.